Oh, it stinks so good. Oh. So, what's happening? I didn't get a chance to really get into this one. I just wrote it today, and I'm going to talk about it. By the way, what do you think? I didn't like it before. Give it some time. I think it's growing on me. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how people do shadow work. I'm not sure how you do shadow work. I'm not sure, all of that stuff when it comes to how you want to process how you don't feel so, fucked up on the inside. But I noticed that when it comes to shadow work, that a lot of the times it has to come from 9 times out of 10 some type of like emotional trauma, something or rather, like, you know what I'm saying? It's one of these. But it's something within you that you got to work through to then be able to live a more prosperous and easygoing life. I turn that and transmute that into, like, because the way I look at it is like, now I will say, because I didn't really catch it before, but the way I look at it now is, if I play out the whole scenario that I've been through something in life, even through me being born, the birthing process is trauma. There's going to be trauma responses just to that alone, things like this, right? And so I don't make it into spookism and different, like, whatever else, right? Life is what life has been for us. However we want to play that. Well, yeah. Life has been what it's been. And, we've seen the people we've seen. We've gone through experiences we've gone through. And we've ended up here, right? And so I'm looking at shadow work as like, not this like, I'll say not just this spiritual journey. Look at me, I got something going on. Something for myself, this, that, the third, right? But I look at it as like, if I have been through an emotional, like, situation, just turmoil, right? And I have the scrunch, or the headaches, or I go through, like, the slouching, or the rubbing, or the whatever neurotic thing I go through because of whatever situation I've been through that I haven't been able to process kind of like this right now, because today I just wrote shadow work into body work. Actually, I wrote it not that long ago. And so having to pick up all of this and still make something out of it, you know, is that, I look at it as like, you asking a dude while he's getting PTSD in the middle of a war, how he plans on getting out of it and processing all of the stuff before he even gets to it, right? You don't really having a chance to like really hone in on half the time when you really do go through shadow work anyway. It's like long after, whatever situation you were in or put yourself in, or came to you, whatever the case may have been. Like, it always takes a second anyway. Like, you don't ever get the chance to like do it within that moment anyway. So so this time and process has to happen for you to really even grasp what the hell went on in the first place, right? So like, I'm looking at this as that process and breaking down that process, but within that process, because like I said, I have to see, okay, I did something I wasn't supposed to do. I got that whipping one time. I didn't like the way it went down. They didn't need to yell or do whatever they did like that, right? And now I got this trauma. Now I got this click of this neurotic thing going on that I've developed. Whatever whatever I do to feel better, right? So I look at that and I go, okay, well, this is an emotional thing that I did. There's something now, right, that puts me in this state of being because of whatever physical thing I put myself in. Like I said, if you're sad, you're gonna develop a sad uh, form. You're gonna develop a sad type of like structure. If you're, because if you get a person that's super happy, we know about this, like just simple body language, right? They got the chest puffed out, they're looking around, they don't care, they're happy, they're elated. They continue to embody this. They become that. They become God-like, right? They become, even if they're not ripped or like, they automatically just become this like figure to you, you know. But you put your brain and your mind and things into certain entities, certain things. Like to me, it seems like where that energy signature has developed and come from, in the first primordial, whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? You tap into that energy, you become that thing. It's already here, right? You just got to go looking for it. You find little breadcrumbs, you pick them up, you find the little, the witch place. You become a witch. Boom, you witch now. You know what I'm saying? It's like you go to it and you're gonna find that thing to become it. Unraveling that is a good thing. That means backtracking. Like I said, your mom used to tell you, backtrack, go back and look, right? Check and see. And so I'm noticing that, right? Like this is I can get off the fact that this shadow work, the emotional, like I think people like trying to like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the process you go through. But for me, reversing that, going back and then thinking, which emotions do I process the least? Or, I don't really like, what emotions am I afraid of the most? I'm just too afraid to look at those emotions. For me, like, I would think to say it would be anger, things like jealousy, if that's even a thing, but just yeah, mainly anger, or being scared, I think, is a big one too. I'm too afraid to be in all facets of it. Just kind of like death touches on everything. You don't want to do that one thing because it's connected to this, because you don't want to die. It's pretty much how that plays. You don't, it always, everything that we have neurotic about us just seems to connect to the fact that in our heads, we may not even think subconsciously, but we think we're going to die at some point. That's what's going to get us to that point. I'm trying to stay together because there's so many, like I said, man, it's a lot off of nothing. Um, and so, like I said, there's different parts in your body right? That you have a lot of frustrations and hang-ups, and whether you eat a lot, so you chew a lot, whether you grind your teeth, or like you said, you hunch, so your chest is tight and weak, you know, so you don't have a strong core. You got a weak core and back, and things like that. Probably a tight back, things like this, or whatever the case is. But you can see and look at that and go, oh, well, maybe I need to. Now I know, right? This is what I'm getting to. This because I noticed that there's certain emotional points that, because you can't stop. Like, I don't care what you say, but there are certain muscles that make you smile. There are certain muscles that make you frown. There's certain muscles that crunch this every single time you're frustrated, you're in a tizzy, whatever the case may be. You have certain points that I notice, right, that get you to a state, that puts you into a state, right, like a certain form, structure. Following that and saying, okay, well, what do I do a lot? Because this always leads into the whole mental massage and figuring out, okay, if I scrunch a lot here, I know I need to isolate and focus more to be able to break that up. How can I focus on this, break it up, right? Work on breaking that up, because now I know that that's a lot of tension there. I know I have a lot of simpler, right? You keep it simple. I have a lot of tension in my hand. How can I relax and stretch? See, because I even notice as simple as this is my pinky, and you might be like, what kind of trauma and things are being held here, or things like that, or like what happened to where? Because I noticed that if I try to like just open it, there's a click for one, but it doesn't just, it gets stuck. See, these feel like normal to just do like that. This pinky doesn't. Right? I want to make this simple. This pinky doesn't just. So this is the things I look at now. Why isn't my fingers able to? Because I notice that people. I'm gonna hope this all leads in, right. Champion their insecurities and their ailments and the things they have issues with. They champion. They go, yes, I have ADHD. Yes, I have this little click in my knee. Yes, it's me. It is mine. You can't take it away. It's the only thing I got. If I lose this, what else do I have? Who am I? What is that? What else is there? So it is, it's terrible, because people are so don't maybe realize how rooted they are in their insecurities and traumas, that they're too afraid to realize that how freeing it could be, how really freeing it could be to shed all of that away and not let these things become, because like I could still be taking pills from ADHD, being diagnosed that, right? I still could be taking pills and things like that, and having my mind be all kinds of places I can't control it to be, and things like that. Like, it's hard enough naturally, that's the way it is, chill out, I don't need it. And that's another thing too, right? So all this plays into, like, I can't even focus enough on my own mental when it comes to the pills and the extra stuff, let alone just trying to process this drama on my own. And so, like I say, I'm trying to keep this, because Lord, I could talk for freaking ever, man. So check in with what parts of your body, because I noticed, like I said, if you can think of whatever part that is, there's a good chance it's connected to why you feel the way you feel today. You feel upset, you feel clenched, you feel tension in certain parts of your shoulders and this thing, you need to do that a lot, you got that thing going on like that. If you really go back and not be afraid to question, am I really into this? Is it really me? Can I say that I really care about this thing that brings me down, even though I want to continue to say, Oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, I don't want to fix this because what if I lose it? Oh, this trauma, drama, llama that I've come to grown to love so much. I just can't let go. It's just so good to me. Hey, do you know what? I cannot process gluten. There's nothing they can do. I don't want them to really do anything. I mean, I do. At least I'm going to say that I do. But why not reinforce it while I'm there? While I'm at it, why not just reinforce the fact that I have a gluten allergy? Not look up herbs and medicines and different drinks and potions and whatever the case may be to fix or something, this thing that I got going on. No, I want to reinforce it and say, yes, this is a problem for me. This is tough to deal with. I got to take these pills 3 times a day. I can't drink orange juice on Thursdays. I mean, it truly inconveniences me because I'm trying to go to bingo. You know, I'm trying to go to this country club. I want to go to the, the Freaknik. I want to bust down at the disco. I want, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case is, but you're just so happy to know. People just have to know that you messed up, you know? And I think that's the biggest protectant we have of ourselves is that hard shell that we keep around us or within us or whatever the case, because we need it. It's the closest friend we have because it's us. It really is us at certain points because we've held it close for so long, right? But we as a society can no longer continue to have this much tension with no release, this much build up with no release. You know, this is a lot going on. And people are too afraid to live, experience, have sex, do drugs. I'm saying I'm not advocating to do anything, but but there's too much going on in life for people to be too afraid to figure out who they are, work through the trauma drama llamas, love themselves again, go back and work and massage, and like I say, do all the work, go exercise, go find yourself, go relax your mind, right? Find ways to appreciate you. You gotta let go and be happy with it, that once you know that you can push past it, through it, that on the other side, that salvation is you finding new parts of yourself to fulfill other than the worst parts you found and loved on to try to nurse it. Because what you're doing is not nursing it. You think that or you are nursing it, if anything. Like, we can even go there. But you're not, you think okay, so let's put it like this. You're telling me some mysterious crazy man busts up in your house, woman, man, person, bust up in your house, right? You telling me the best thing you can do is nurse him, get, whatever the case, feed him, take care of him, do what you got to do, and never send that on his way? You never say, okay, time to go. Like, I understand there's certain things that we cannot, as a society, truly get rid of fully. There's certain diseases, ailments, I guess it's all mental diseases, it's all the same, I guess, whatever. That we have that it's pretty difficult to just get rid of. There's not a lot of cures, there's not cures for everything. So I get that. But I'd like to challenge that we can't find a way at some point to rid ourselves of most, if not all, ailments. That's a good challenge. I like. They're doing all these challenges. Let's do this challenge. I challenge everybody out here to try to find a way to cure anything and everything we've ever thought to be a problem for us. Because I for one, am starting with Like I said, the mental massage, connecting the mind to the body more, or just bringing that awareness, because we, of course, have the connection. We made ourselves, we're here. You know, you wouldn't be able to have, like, you wouldn't be here if you didn't have that capability to already connect all these things, to be able to buy a tablet and turn it on and get on here and have a wonderful time. You know what I'm saying? You had to have already made that connection. So if you are not aware of things like these, then you're most likely disconnected from it, because it's here. So you know, and like I say, I stay on the point of that if I have emotions, they're connected to somewhere in me, whatever it is. And if I have those emotions connected somewhere within me, created through my spirit, created through my mind, and me being an observer, then there's going to be tension, just like I've created in my life, that life has given me all these things back and forth. Like we have this reciprocation of energies. Life has given me tension. I have tension. I've given myself tension. I continue to put tension on myself. Find where that tension is and realize it's in the same exact movement, areas of life. You know, it looks like those people. You know, if you don't want to look like those people, watch their lifestyle. Don't do those things they do, and you won't look or end up in that lifestyle or situation or look like those people. But I guarantee you stay around them long enough, you're going to look like them. You're going to look just like that. You know, so if you don't want to look like that, don't stand around those people. Don't look at what they do. You got to not be so scared and go do what you want to do and look like what you want to look like, and not be so afraid because you don't look like them. You know? I don't want to stay too long on these. So I think, yeah, so shadow work into the body, I'll stick to is, like I said, for me is doing the yoga and matching that to whatever I feel, right? Uh, like I said, if I because here's a big one. This is one I wanted to get to. When I feel something, it has to be like a real emotion, right? It has to be like a genuine. This is the beauty of it, right? When it's a real thing that I'm thinking about, or something, is like, and the big one is like when I cry, or like when I have this that like, what's the energy that just like, you know, that just energy of just like, I don't want to say release, I don't want to say like heaven, I don't want to say, it's like, it's just this like, because it's not calmness, because it feels like this shock, this breakup when I do it right, and it hits like in the middle where the spine is, like, especially. But when I'm like about to like cry, I feel that deep emotion or something like that, right? It's like something breaks up. Like it's like the just the best way I'm gonna just say it. The best way I can say it, explain it, is that emotion excites, it shocks, it breaks up, and it's essentially like separates it. You know what I'm saying? Because kind of like a hard shell, like you've never felt that before, right? So this is good. This is good, right? So you've never felt that before, right? And so you never, those emotions and those muscles have been dormant, right? Ooh. When I sit and I like really am in my within myself or thoughts or whatever like that, and I have like an epiphany or something just really gets me, you know, like my son, I can't it like I said, it finally opens because I'm using those muscles most of the time. Like I say, you get a person that don't exercise a lot. There's a lot of muscles they can't move. They're not necessarily weak, or you know what I'm saying. That's what you would make that assumption of them being weak by the fact that there's so many muscles that are stuck and have not been used. So think about it just like a bodybuilder. You have the big muscle, but you know there's dudes out here that work calisthenics. They do a lot of stretches, yoga. They do a lot of Pilates and poses. They a lot of static things, and so they can hold a lot more. There's a lot more structure that's being used now. It's more of a rotation being used. You can find more ways to be used. You know what I'm saying? Stretch more, move more, hold more, be more dynamic and things like this, right? I see that it's now playing out, being with that dynamism, being dynamic within, right? It's the same thing, right? To where if I don't have versatility within my emotions, I realize that I will continue to fail as you would say, as an athlete or things like this, right? Like anything really, because then I'm not tapping into certain mental, you know what I'm saying? Like I see now how important it is to have an emotional IQ and not be afraid of feeling it more so than just trying to analyze it, attempting to analyze it, because that's really all I ever try to do, because I'm still learning it all together. But really feeling it and not faking the funk, and it shows, like I say, with learning what yoga is for me to the core, because it makes sense on the experiences, my emotions, and me going through them, my emotions going through my muscles, right? My, surging through me. I'm able to take that, imagine that, like I said, either move my muscle in any form, fashion, but also be able to wake up and excite and aid myself through other emotions. And the big one, like I said, is, like I would say, emotional yoga. That's a new one too, because I wrote spirit physics too. Spirit yoga, or things like that, shadow work yoga, whatever you want to call it. But it's like incorporating my emotions within my body work as well. So I do the shadow work, and I can just sit and just find that area, because like I said, a lot of people may not know, you can do a lot of movement within the brain head area. There's muscles all over within there too that are attached to other things, like I said, that are mainly attached to your pelvic floor. Hey kitty. Pelvic floor, and different, let's see, cat, kitty, hello kitty. Oh, you're gonna run off now. Well, go on in. Kitty. And so there's muscles that you can't tap into, right? And so just processing that, the fact that I'm missing out on a lot purely because I don't have a big enough emotional vocabulary yet when it comes to actually feeling them. And I know this is one thing with people like highly intellectuals too, where they don't, they think they're very smart because they have the IQ but not the EQ. And, like I said, it's something about being angry and processing and using that, transmuting that energy into your body. Being emotional when it comes to crying or using those deep emotions and breaking that up and actually feeling it. Because if you don't actually feel that and do it, Just like you can get angry and or you can be happy, be sad, whatever the case. um, it's all there. And so, like I say, if you don't find those muscles within too, which is less, and I'm noticing, like I said, that I noticed that there's superficial emotions and there's those real emotions that you can't fake that really like, because you can like, you know what I'm saying? It's like superficial. You can be sad and be sarcastic. You can be really to do that. But then I notice when it comes to like acting, you really like, and you see the people. I see what the point of that is. Just like I said, I see what like the dudes that do like the horse. They do that thing where they press out in the taekwondo or the karate do. They go, whoa, and they do the both hands. I can see why that is a thing to where they have to like press, but not because you're like doing the muscle. To me, I'm realizing because of this journey I'm going through, I am using this to literally move my structure. You know what I'm saying? Moving it. Not just like, oh, I'm Jean-Claude Van Damme and I can do this. Look at me be serious and look like I'm straining. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm literally taking that muscle emotionally, internally, finding it. I'm literally using when, like I said, the emotional acting one, like I'm using that. The other one with the martial arts, like the real people are really doing this, of course, to like chi and center, and that's cool and all. But I'm using it to learn how to restructure myself, press and use. I'm able to press, turn, use. I'm finding like, so when I do it, I said, this is the mental part again. I'm taking, like, so I need to not only use this, like the press, right? To grip it, but I'm also using whatever else I can find that's connected to it and mentally try to check, okay, hold there. And so when I do that, because everything needs to be connected that I'm thinking also is connected to this, to press and move. I need to know that that's what's going to happen next too. Okay, so now I tried to move this part, right? But I noticed that I didn't really put tension right about here. So now I can do it again and have that focus. So when I press out, I know I can press with good tension here and good tension here. See that? Right up in here. Specifically like this spot. Whatever this is. So right, so about there, about here, like this, like looks like something like that, I guess. Now I'm aware of that. Okay, so now I know that that's there. It presses into my stomach down here, and then that goes into wherever else. But I know at least, because like now I can put tension, I can think of, I can put it here, 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 here. I'm putting tension on this spot now. I'm putting tension on the spot of my hip or my butt now. I'm putting the tension in this part right here, my, here and here. So now when I'm pressing, I'm thinking of using all of those to where if I need to also, it's a lot, pulling if I need to, stretching if I need to. There's so many little nuances, right? If I need to spread, if I need to cascade, whatever I need to mentally think of to do. I'm going to think of that motion, that movement, do it, whatever. It's a lot to explain, but it's one thing you can do too is to start to think of like every single thing a human has ever done. That's huge, right? If you've seen it, do it. If you've never tried it, make it happen. And that's a big one that I'm talking about. If you don't make fun of people, you do those emotions. You ever seen that kid, that redhead kid, the little kind of chunky one? He goes, you see him in the, do that. Do those. Don't ever think that anything goofy weird, awkward, whatever the case, if you think it's something and you can find maybe something, because you're going to find you, right? Within things, you're going to find you. But if you can find that and use that for something, use it. I don't know what else you do. I do the body. I do things like this, right? The mental, the body, some spirituality, things like that. That's what I put a lot of my energy, or art, or whatever other case, things like this. This is what I do it for, stuff like that. But if you can find something to put these emotions, things, whatever, into, then you go. But, like I said, I'm not, so yeah, back to that. I'm not just, what I'm saying? I use that and if it's this way, whatever thing I need to do to find that thing. I took just like a key, it's trying to like do like a, pick a lock, so you got to find the tumbler, you got to rotate it right. It all has to fall in and align right, and then, whatever, and then boom, and then boom, then it can do it. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. It's like a very complicated Rubik's Cube. It's the best way I can explain it. You know what I'm saying? To like my goal is to be able to align myself right. Because I noticed it's like nothing is like what I think it is, even though I think I look like this. On the inside, hip is up, you know what I'm saying? And it's in like a sideways wisdom tooth type, you know what I'm saying? Like it's whatever. You don't realize how like contorted your body is, even though it kind of looks, dead on a little bit. You know what I mean? I know I'm all over the place, but that's my issue is I wrote down shadow work into body work. That's all I did, So, hey, hopefully you got something from this. Yeah.